Brigadier, before I forget, there's an issue that has been pended here that relates to Exhibit XX, that warning form statement. I think we will revisit that issue and other issues that will arise thereon or thereat, as and when you will be making available those other forms of the warning statements and stuff like that. I just wanted us to be clear on that one, that it has not been finalized. It's just put in abeyance. Thank you.
Understood, my lord.
After having assembled a team that you had to work up with, you started to investigate, and then fortuitously you stumbled upon Constable Zungu.
Yeah, in essence, my lord.
One thing about Mnisi, he's going to call a spade a spade. Did he just say that Constable Zungu just popped out of nowhere? That the brigadier stumbled upon Constable Zungu conveniently after there was a team assembled after. This is a lot. Mnisi is a lot. But you know what? It actually got me thinking, like, wait, so SIZWE, it's not like this is the first time there was a team for the SENZO MEYIWA trial. There's always been a team. Why did Constable Zungu come out of the woodworks only now? Of course, with his daddy dearest, ABSOLOM ZUNGU. Why only now? So it leads me to wonder, can we piece together when Fisoguhle Ntuli took out the Zungus, and does that align with the dates of now when Usfiso is allegedly seeking revenge for the termination of his family members? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This has my thought processes turning. I'll probably do a separate video of this over the weekend. Of course, as you know, we have a jam-packed schedule this week with court in session endlessly because somebody is no longer writing exams. Okay, let's continue listening on.
Now, having stumbled across Constable Zungu then gives you information which was a lead to which then was a lead to what is now happening here at court, not so?
I suppose, my lord.
Thank you.
I suppose, but the proper sequence, my lord, like I've said, and I've dealt with this part, refers to his father. The father comes on board, Mr. ABSOLOM ZUNGU, and then a statement is then taken, which initially leads to 1 and 2, and then from 2, then the other accused are then picked up in terms of the name 3, 4, 5, my lord.
Now, on several occasions, you had told this court that in terms of your investigation of this case, the conspiracy to assassinate the deceased SENZO MEYIWA, with regard to the planning and everything, took place at the hostel, not so?
Yes, my lord.
Thank you. Now, the planners, who were the planners of this plot?
My lord, what we have, and we have in terms of the statements that we touch base on, we have it in the confession of accused 2, is the accused before court that we can place in the hostel. The name of Ms. Kelly Kumalo as a trigger point is mentioned, but she's not at the hostel. So the only people that are placed at Basotini hostel is the 5 accused, my lord.
When was this planned?
But my lord, we have statements, and unless then Advocate Mnisi wants me to go there, because then it will go to other people that are not before court, who indicates who said what at what stage. If that is the question, and I'm expected to answer it, then I'll go to those specifics. But then I'll have to refer to the statement so that there's no dispute.
So you are saying that the planning took place at the hostel, and you are basing that on, number 1, on the confession, on the alleged confession that was phoned from accused number 2.
That's correct, my lord. But also statements of one or two individuals who makes reference to the events of that day, my lord, when the incident took place.
Thank you. Now, subsequent to the information that you received from Constable Zungu, you proceeded with your investigations, got what you got, and ultimately, accused number 3 got to be part of those people who were fingered and eventually arrested and charged with the commission of these offenses, not so?
It is so, my lord.
Just for the record, it's not Constable Zungu, it's Mr. ABSOLOM ZUNGU that provided the information. Counsel is referring to information obtained from Constable Zungu. That is not what the witnesses said.
No, I'm talking about Constable Zungu. I do not know ABSOLOM ZUNGU. Constable Zungu was here testifying. I haven't referred to ABSOLOM ZUNGU. And this witness has actually said, yes, he has always been saying, yes, correct, correct, correct. So I'm not so sure what then states worry about me referring to Constable Zungu. I'm not so sure if I may proceed. Yeah. Oh, I thought the state would want to make a follow-up. Okay, no, thank you, madam.
At this point, I'm very concerned about Judge Rata and why he keeps blue ticking Baloyi. I mean, this is the most we have ever seen Baloyi stand up in such a short period of time. And this time he stands up to say, oh my goodness, can the record please say ABSOLOM ZUNGU? Because I don't know why they, Nisi keeps on talking about Constable Zungu. It's ABSOLOM ZUNGU, okay? And Nisi goes, I'm talking about Constable Zungu, the one who came here to testify. I don't know ABSOLOM ZUNGU, okay? Gusan, I don't know ABSOLOM ZUNGU. As far as I'm concerned, he's mute in my mind, okay? Because he's hearsay evidence, because you, Baloyi, never called him to the stand, and I don't give a damn about him. I have seen maybe 3 times where the brigadier tries to sneak it in to say, I need to say the statements of the people that haven't come to court, but I don't want to anger you. And Nisi has just been blue-ticking him. He has just been blue-ticking him, not acknowledging him, moving on with his questions. I love the strategy, and he's sticking his questions to close-ended answers where the brigadier is forced to just say yes or no. Have you guys noticed that as well? I love this point where we're at. I'm just concerned with the relationship between Baloyi and my lord. What has gone wrong with my lord? Because he's even affirming it, okay, by putting his hand over his mouth, and his fingers are nowhere near in the air, just flying around, okay? It is not going to happen. Not on today o'clock, or should I say yesterday o'clock, because Baloyi is saying, hell no. Baloyi is trying too hard. And for me, that speaks volumes. Baloyi, why are you telling us about ABSOLOM ZUNGU that nobody is talking about? And Missy says, even this witness is saying, yes, yes, correct, correct. So what the hell should I do now? And you know what's even hilarious? But Nisi waits, okay, for the judge to say something. Okay, earth to judge. And then he ends up saying, I'm waiting for your direction. And the judge says, just continue on. Ignore him, okay? Ignore him. He's just so spoiled and so used to getting away with everything. But I see what's going on here, okay? My eyes are pulled open, okay? There's Nganigwane in this courtroom. I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. And we're going to catch them gulugutus. Them gulugutus. Horrible horns are showing right now. And the judge is onto it. Do you think so, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. Why is Mr. Judge, my lord, blue-ticking Baloyi? What has changed?
Now, accused number 2 also gets arrested because of the then information that you received from Constable Zungu and got charged as part of the plotters to kill SENZO MEYIWA, not so?
Yes, my lord.
Thank you.
Yes, my lord. Yes, but let me put this because I don't want you to go incorrectly. When I say yes, Constable Zungu, it's in the sense that Constable Zungu is the first person who came to the office of the National Commissioner alone. So he brought the information, but then mentions his father, who then came before, from the time he arrived to the time his father came, there wasn't really much that we were doing because there was no statement. Only on the 17th of November 2018, then the father came and a statement then kicked in. This is now of Mr. ABSOLOM ZUNGU. The one of Constable ZUNGU, my lord, came into existence last year, my lord, and I dealt with this part and I indicated that it came into existence because as I was investigating, or we were investigating, his name keep on cropping up as the person who was also present in this gathering at the hostel on the day of the incident. That's how it came about. So all I'm saying is that the sequence of events, it is not that Constable Zungu is the one who gave us indication to say 1 and 2. He only brought information to say, I have this information that implicates the two people based on the information I received from my father. And I wanted to see the father, my lord. And that was done on the 17th of November, as I've said. I've indicated, my lord, that we met. There was a struggle to find the father, but eventually on the 13th of November 2018, we met with Constable Zungu, with Brigadier Perumal, and that is where it was confirmed that the father is willing to make a statement. Arrangements were made on the 17th of November. The father came and disposed the statement. This is where now the citing of 1 and 2 was then confirmed under oath, and then we moved accordingly, my lord.
Thank you. Now let's go a bit back. Now, before the arrest of accused number 3, it is common cause that this case was initially investigated by other members of the South African police. Would you take this court through the process of you acquiring that initial case docket from them? Or let me put it this way. Did you have sight of the case docket that was initially investigated by the first team?
Yes, my lord. So, if I understand correctly, and Advocate Minister will correct me if perhaps I'm misunderstanding him,
yes.
The docket that is before court,
Yes.
the docket that I inherited on the 18th of November 2018 is the same docket that was investigated by the previous investigator. So I inherited that docket and carried on with the investigation.
Thank you. We are together there. Now, subsequent to the receipt of the case docket, is it correct that then you went through that case docket to find out if there is something or things or statements or form of information in that case docket which would assist you to carry out the mandate that came from General Sithole?
So the initial part, my lord, as I indicated, was first to establish, because that's what we're seized with, to establish as to whether they were intruders or no intruders. That was a primary task that, for me, that was a kickoff point, because there was, as I've said earlier, my lord, this assertion or allegations that there may have been no intruders. Once that part was cleared on my mind, that indeed, and based on the fact that I've articulated to this court, my lord, that they were intruders, then the process of trying to find the so-called perpetrators was then embarked upon, my lord. And that exercise, my lord, was extended to the other members as well, to say collectively, but individually, not sitting together so that we don't influence each other. We should actually look into the docket individually and then come up with the views based on evidence as to whether they were intruders or no intruders, and then work the investigation according to that, my lord. In other words, the drafting of the investigation plan would have been motivated by the facts of whether there were no intruders or there were intruders. Yes, I'm done, my lord, sorry.
Thank you, sir. So amongst others, the reason why you ultimately had to conclude that they were indeed intruders, it was because you went through the statements of the witnesses who were in the house, that's all?
No, not really. As I've said, my lord, the people who were in the house were questionable to me. So I didn't really want to rely on. I wanted to rely on the circumstances around them to see if there's credence or there's evidence to support what is being alleged. So what I relied on was the statements of the neighbors. If we talk about statements, my lord, was the reliance of the cell phone, which I've indicated, my lord, that it was picked up at a different tower when everyone else could be accounted for at the hospital. It was the issue of the DNA, my lord, where I said there was a DNA which excluded the people who were in the house, because one would have expected that if there were no intruders, that DNA that was found in the house should have been read into the people who were in the house. But there was a DNA that was picked up there, which excluded everyone in the house. What it indicated, there was a donor except the people who were in the house. So I looked at the statements of the neighbors, and I tried to look at the forensic evidence in the form of the cell phone tower in relation to the phone that was alleged that it was robbed, the movement of Mr. Longe's Twala insofar as the tracking system of how it went, my lord, and the DNA, because those for me were reliable, were credible. That was credible evidence. But in addition, then I looked at the neighbors, which in my view, my lord, as I said, I couldn't find reasons to believe that these people could be influenced. Then yes, indeed, what those people said, I then matched it with what the people were saying in house. But my focus was not on them, because at that stage, I was not sure as to whether, what they were saying was the truth or not at the beginning, my lord.
Bongani Danzi does not take his eyes off the brigadier. Whenever he is talking his nganegwane, whether long-ended, short-ended, and kudos to Mr. Cameraman for showing us Bongani Danzi. There's been some weeks where there's been some deficiencies with that, but he caught him at some key moments, which I think, you can really empathize with where Bongani Danzi is coming from. Yeah, it's a difficult one to watch. But what is even more difficult is sitting and listening to the brigadier. Guys, we've got a long way to go with this man, okay? He doesn't get the concept of close-ended or open-ended statements. For someone who was writing exams, I am shocked, okay? But I wanted to also talk about what the brigadier said. You see, when you talk too much, when you think you're explaining, you're actually revealing so much. So this, the brigadier said, which left me quite concerned. Actually, it left me questioning a lot of things. The brigadier said that General Sitole, assigned him to the SENZO MEYIWA trial after the other team was, let go. And this was on the 18th of November, 2018. You see, Brigadier Kininda loves to give dates. Oh my goodness, he loves to reference dates. But you know which other date he had just given a few seconds ago? That he met with ABSOLOM ZUNGU on the 17th of November 2018. Do you know another date he gave? He met with Constable SIZWE ZUNGU, Zungunizer, on the 13th of November 2018. Therefore, I ask you this question, honorable members of the jury over here on these YouTube streets. Let me know, when you do 1 + 1, is it equal to 2 or is it equal to 11? But from where I'm sitting, so General Sitole gave this case to Brigadier Bongani Nicholas Gininda after he had produced this character or these Zungu family members. Why? That's a fair question. I'm not accusing the General Sitole of anything. I'm just asking a question based on these dates. What's the convenient? Hey, you've brought us a witness that can close this case, that can get people arrested. You know what? Let me make you lead investigator of this cold case unit where you're all going to work independently and go through the records. And you don't trust, as Gininda says, he did not trust the members of the House. He found their statements quite questionable, yet none of them have seen a day behind bars. But you know what, Asikolapo, let me know your thoughts on that. I am definitely curious on what you guys have to say. I'm going to end it here because we've got so many more uploads to do before the court starts. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. If you've made it this far in the video, you absolutely know you have my heart. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, because what? You absolutely help the channel grow when you do so. And it brings me so much joy. But not only that, you absolutely love a dose of drama. You love a dose of news. And Mzansi Unfiltered is here to provide it for you. So by liking the videos, this tells me, keep going. Bring it on, bring it on. I've seen those 1,000 likes. Why can't we get 2,000 likes? Why? If I have a video with 20,000 views, why are only less than 1,000 people liking it? And I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say. It's an open state. It's an open environment. Okay. We listen. We don't judge. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to meet you there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload.